cutback high school football time, Horst, and we had some more great games to cover this week.
Pow!
It's pow again.
Yeah, there were a lot of big games this week. Some had some surprising outcomes. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into it. Horst, Ripon versus Escalon ended up being one heck of a battle. Escalon was able to get the victory 10-7.
Yeah, Ripon came into this game literally being cleared from their 10-day COVID quarantine on Saturday, so they were able to play. Had not practiced, still went out there, gave a good team at Escalon a heck of a game. They have a lot to be proud of. They scored their touchdown on a Mason 9-yard touchdown run, and they were down 10-7 early in the fourth quarter. They drove down inside the Escalon 10, had the ball at 1st and goal on the 2, got a penalty, then were unable to get the ball in the end zone and got stopped on downs, and that was pretty much the end of the game. And what about Escalon?
Luke Anderson had a big run, for a touchdown. That was really good for them. And then Owen Nash catching the ball down the field, big-time player, making big-time plays. And who can forget that they get a big field goal from Brian Barrientos, which is just impressive. I mean, field goals in high school football are not easy to come by, especially one of that distance.
Yeah, 33-yard field goal in a high school game, that's a big play.
Yeah, and that ends up being the winning score. What a defensive battle, 10-7. That's pretty crazy to score that low in today's high school football.
Yeah, well, it's two teams that are always competing for their section title, so it's not surprising that this game was tough like that.
We had Battle of the Unbeatens as the Lincoln Trojans traveled to the Great Bowl to play the Lodi Flames, and Lincoln got it done, defeating the Flames 34-7, Horst.
Yes, Lodi and Lincoln and St. Mary's are all three undefeated. Lodi came in, they gave it their best effort, but at the end of the day, Lincoln just has too much firepower.
Yeah.
They kept it close. They didn't just get run off the field. They played hard on defense. They made Lincoln earn it. Lodi did have a big 27-yard touchdown catch by Stephen Whiting from quarterback Adam Schallberger. And I spoke with Coach Doynes after the game. He said to definitely mention that Reggie Miles had a huge game as a defensive lineman. He had a couple sacks, and he had multiple tackles for loss besides that. And he also played really well on the offensive line. They also had nice games from Isaac Bishop and Adam Schallberger on defense as well.
Yeah, but they were going against the two-headed monster that is Jonah Coleman and Kenyon Nelson. And those guys were just tearing it up all day. Both of them with 3 total TDs. You had Jonah Coleman with 2 rushing and 1 receiving. And, of course, Kenyon Nelson was throwing the ball, so he had 2 passing and 1 rushing. He's a dual-threat quarterback, and those guys are just hard to deal with. I mean, that's just what it is. Every team that's been playing them this year has just been struggling because these are 2 legit D1 athletes, and they're just going out there and wrecking people. And, Lodi had everything they could handle with Roman Amaperosa up front. He's a beast, and he was causing problems. We talked about this for a couple weeks, that we knew this was, the big test, especially this week against Lodi was a big test. They had to stop him, and he was able to get penetration and cause problems.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Rome, if there was an MVP of this game, if you go back and watch the game, Roman on the defensive line was just a problem all day, and that's no discredit to Lodi.
Right.
Roman has not been blocked successfully all year. That kid is a monster. He's going to be a problem, and I think he has a big future ahead of him.
Of course, a huge matchup for Tokay as they went to play Tracy, and this game was close for a long time, but Tracy was able to pull out the victory, 29-7.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tokay turned the ball over a couple too many times, and Tracy just got too many opportunities, and they were able to pick up their first win of the season. Tokay, the game was a little bit closer than the score indicates.
Correct.
Tokay had the opportunities. They had the ball on the 1-yard line and were stopped on downs. They had several other opportunities on the other side of the 50 and just weren't able to convert. But they still had a standout performance from running back and safety Jose Bravo. Jose had 105 yards and a touchdown rushing and 18 tackles on defense.
Yeah, he's showing out. You know, I mean, he really is. He's coming on strong at the end. You know, that's what you expect from a player like him, and he's a really good player, and he's making great plays. He had a long touchdown run in this game. So Jose's showing up in a big way, and he's really trying to will that team. You know, I know he was filling in for Filippini, who was out, and he did everything he could to help the team win.
Yeah, he really had to pull double duty there with Filippini out. That's a big blow for Tokay. Linebacker Anakin Salazar had 11 tackles, and safety Elias Castro had 10 tackles.
You knew this was coming from Anakin. We talked about him last week after the big hit on Sherman, that this is what Anakin does. He's a stud. He's a sophomore. Get ready to hear a lot about him over the next 2 years because he's a beast. I mean, every Salazar that comes through there can hit, and this guy can play. He's a big-time player, and he's going to make big-time plays.
Yeah, and then as far as Castro goes, undersized guy, but, you know, he's got a ton of heart. He's always going to be in there trying to make plays. Good player. And then we had the interceptions from Adrian Nava and Diego Balastro on defense for Tokay.
It's good to see Adrian making plays. You know, Adrian's a kid that we really like, and he's a good player, and he works hard, and he deserves to get out there. And I'm glad he made a play. I'm glad he made an interception. That's big for him. You know, he's kind of coming to the end of his career, you know, at high school level. So it's good to see him make plays. We knew this was going to be a showdown, and it definitely was. Manteca versus Oakdale came down to the wire, and Manteca won 26-23.
Yeah, this game almost always seems to be the VOL title game, and it seems like every other year they play again in the playoffs. So this is a big matchup. It's always intense, always physical, always hard fought, and this year's was no different. But I really think the story of this game was Lion Colon, the running back for Manteca, having a school record 301 yards and 4 touchdowns on only 20 carries. He really just by himself pulled his team offensively through. He had a heck of a game. And to set the school record for rushing yards at a school like Manteca is pretty impressive. And their defense did a really good job. They limited what had been a very potent Oakdale passing attack so far this year to less than 50 yards. But Jackson Holt and company did still make a couple plays.
Yeah, Jackson Holt still threw 2 touchdowns, both to Nick Jeffrey. So they were still, scoring the ball. Jackson Holt's been having a very successful season. He's been completing passes and making plays, which, is pretty much expected from him. He's a great quarterback. And then Yahir Ayala rushing a touchdown, getting involved, getting the offense going. You expect a little bit more from Oakdale normally on the ground, but they've been getting it through the air this year. And, that they're doing what they need to do to win. They just came up a little bit short against Manteca. Horst, and somebody make a field goal in this game?
Yes, we had Kevin Camelin of Oakdale converted a 26-yard field goal. Apparently, it's field goal week.
It is. People are making field goals. They came up a field goal short, though, of beating Manteca.
Kickers are evolving.
Horst, we've been talking about Kimball having a great season, and it continued as Kimball beat Sierra 46-13.
Big time performance. It was a little disappointing. Sierra was without star running back Kamoni Stanley, and Marcelo Morales was injured in the first quarter, so that took a little bit of the air out of Sierra. No discrediting Kimball's performance.
Right.
Still a great performance on the day. Sierra did have a couple standouts. Quarterback Ryan Borgeson, again, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. And defensive end Christian Threadgill had 2 sacks and a forced fumble for Sierra. So they still had their guys making plays. But Kimball actually was led by a running back this week.
Yeah, Alonzo Jackson had 24 carries for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is an absolutely great performance, Horst. That's the kind of thing you need, a real balanced attack, and that's why they put up the big numbers that they put up.
Yeah, all year, we've kind of mentioned Nicholas Coronado, who had another big game with 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. But they've got this guy, Alonzo Jackson, rolling. And Alonzo Jackson's a lot of fun to watch on video. If you haven't got the opportunity, I was watching some huddle. He's an explosive, good player. At receiver, they had Mason Rivera, who had 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, and added a pick on defense. They had Jerome Nance, had 89 yards and a touchdown. And to round it out, Eric Gordon had 4 catches for 39 yards.
Yeah, Horst, they're a really great team. Actually, both of these teams are. I would have liked to have seen this game with Stanley playing because I think that would have been interesting to see if Kimball could have stopped him. But big, huge win for Kimball. They continue to roll.
Yeah, they're one of the more exciting young teams out there this year.
In what ended up being a Thursday night throwdown, Edison against McNair, the Rhino against Zach Taamu, all the things we like to watch, and apparently 7-6 at halftime, looking like an impressive game. And then Edison was like, not today, sir. 56-6, Edison comes out with a big win over McNair.
Yeah, sounds like McNair hung with him for a while, but at the end of the day, Edison's bevy of athletes will get you. I know that Jalen Blackshear had another big game, shockingly, and so did Sampson, so did some other guys. But Edison's really led up front by, like you said, Zach Taamu and Jack Grinnell. They're a problem. That is a very talented team. They're tough to stop. Now, McNair did have a nice touchdown by your guy,
Jonathan Norrie, with a big-time touchdown. Congratulations to him. He's a big-time player. He's tall. He's young as far as playing football. He hasn't played very much, but he's making plays, so good for him. Also, horse Darius Bunn stepping up and playing right guard. Good for him getting out there and trying to help his team win. Bunn is a guy that's underrated in this area. A very good linebacker as well. So, I mean, McNair hung with these guys as long as they possibly could and made it a real game, and then Edison just pulled away.
Yeah, and Bunn is a guy, he's undersized, but I would take Bunn into battle with me any day of the week.
All right, now we are joined by Edison offensive and defensive lineman Zach Taamu. What's up, Zach?
What's up? What's up?
So this guy right here, big time player, offensive, defense, whatever you need along the line. He'll cause damage. How's everything been going this year?
Everything's been going good. We just barely got our season back, and everything's just been going good. Trying to get all this out the way, and hopefully go to college.
How was it? How did it feel to get back on the field after the long wait? Just wondering if you guys were ever going to get to play.
It was difficult and weird because it's just that long wait. Like with us seniors, and since like Edison's down in numbers, I'm sure everybody knows that. But everybody, it was kind of tough for everybody because we had a long, like I'll say, like a year wait. And us seniors, people graduated early, and that's how we kind of lost a couple people. But it was kind of tough and weird because you never see high school football played in spring.
Yeah, that's definitely strange.
So, yeah, I think that would probably be the most difficult thing to adjust to. But right when we got everything back together, we just had to come together as a team and just play football like we always do.
Yeah, what was it like adding Jalen Blackshear to the team?
Oh, man, it was crazy. Just like seeing him like run put that many yards on the ground it's crazy. But I think it was just a great addition to the team, and it's just helping us win, put up points on the board, and get off the field.
How's the camaraderie on the O line and the D line? You guys look like you guys have been playing pretty well. How's it been going? How are you guys working together?
How we've been working together. We just been in practice, just running over the same thing over and over and over. With us having our junior center, David Silva, Martin Montez, Cesar Ayala, and Jack Grinnell. That's our starting O. So in practice, we just go over the same plays over and over, and going over the schemes what the defense runs on the opposing team. So with us just going over and over, when it comes game time, we already know what to do.
You guys were scheduled to play Franklin this week. Do you guys have a game this week?
Yes, we actually play Lincoln.
Wow.
Yeah, we got
That's
Lincoln on Friday. Yeah, it's a really big game.
You just broke news.
Yeah, this week is pretty important. Not only for just us, it's just with us playing them last year in a playoff game, it was really important. So I I would just say it'd probably be another rerun.
That game last year in the playoffs was so freaking good to watch. That was an awesome game.
It was a crazy game, so hopefully we could put on another show.
I have a question about your guys' coaching staff. I'm not exactly sure if it's exactly the same as last year, but it's kind of a younger staff for a varsity high school outside of Coach Guyton. But you have several guys with NFL experience on your staff or high-level college experience, and it seems like that coaching staff really has a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, they throughout practice all week. All we do is try to have fun and just execute everything we're doing. So while we're doing what we love, we're just having fun.
So what does it mean to you guys to have a guy, like Lavelle Hawkins or Desmond Bishop, who's been in the same position you guys have been, from the same areas as you guys, and have made it all the way to the level they made it out there helping you?
It's a great feeling. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's just them putting us on game, and like in these type of situations, like crunch time situations, they already preached to us that they've been in these situations, and just not to fold. And all we can do is try our best to execute.
Seen you lining up a little bit in the backfield in some goal line situations. I seen you making some big blocks, getting the ball across the goal line. What's up with that, Zach?
Yeah, it was just it's that goal line, But
Yeah.
I just had to take the place of my guy, OJ Bartley from last year, him leaving. So I just got a feeling I was in a position to take that.
That guy was a beast.
Definitely.
Well, he is at where, New Mexico?
Yes, sir. He's at New Mexico.
Yeah, man. I was enjoying watching your highlights. A lot of pancake blocks, a lot of big time sacks. It's fun to watch. It seems like every year you keep just doing the same big stuff all the time. Like nothing changes. Just always out there getting work done.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying my best. I'm trying to get to the next level. But yeah.
So on Thursday, one of the linemen from McNair is someone you're very familiar with, the Rhino,
Yes, sir.
Josiah Scott, who's another one of the best linemen around here. Did you guys get to match up at all during the game?
Nah, actually, they had him at left tackle, and they actually had Bun. They had Bun at left guard, but I was playing on the right side, but I would usually switch around, but I didn't have time to switch around because of the front. So yeah, I didn't have time to go against both of them either.
Wow. That's crazy that both of those guys are on that line.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just crazy seeing it. I was seeing it in the pregame. I was like, yo, they're on the same side, but it's just kind of crazy that they put Rhino at tackle because, knowing that you always see him at guard. So it was just kind of a weird adjustment that we had to make.
Then you might get matched up with another beast this week. What do you think of Big Roman Amaparosa from Lincoln?
I mean, he's going to be fun, between us, it's just all love, but on the field, we're going to try our best. We're going to be enemies on the field, but off the field, we're going to be chilling. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to Lincoln versus Edison now. Zach, you have one game left. What do you want to see accomplished in that game for yourself and the team?
Oh, we need that dub. We just need that dub. But as long as everybody executes, we all make the plays that we need to make. Throw that on film, send it out to colleges, and hopefully everybody trying to hope for the best outcome.
Basically,
and they got Baconator too. I forgot.
Oh yeah, the Baconator.
That's Isaias Lopez, for those of you
who people don't know who Baconator is.
Boy, he has come a long way. He is playing.
He really has. He lost a lot of weight, and you can see it on the film too.
Yeah,
and it looks like
I didn't even realize it was him until I saw their roster.
Yeah,
his tech got better.
I forgot I follow him on Instagram, and I'm just looking. I'm like, wow, he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, his technique looks better too, huh?
Yeah, he does. It definitely does.
Yeah, that's gonna be big matchups.
So it's gonna be interesting next week. We got Jalen Blackshear and Jonah Coleman, two of the better running backs in the area, facing off. Probably two of the bigger and better lines in the area facing off on both sides of the ball. So, are we of the thought that whoever wins up front wins this game?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much just the outcome. So like it's just whoever. I think it'll just come down to whoever wants it more.
Yep, Kenyon's gonna be running around.
Definitely.
You're gonna have to chase him down, but I don't know if he's seen a big guy that's like you that can move like you. So if you run him down, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna go crazy cheering on that. That'll be so fun.
Yeah. So like, well, hopefully I don't get out. I don't run out of gas.
If you do, you could always just eat some Funyuns or something.
That's what I was just about to say.
Just come to the sideline. Need a couple snacks. I'll be straight.
Remember your halftime Funyuns.
Yeah.
All right, Zach. We really appreciate you coming on, man. It is so big. It's always nice to talk to you. And we're going to keep pushing you out there because you deserve to get a lot of big looks. We know that you deserve to get out there and get to that next level.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, colleges, take a look at this guy. You will not be sorry.
100%. All right, Zach. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you.
East Union versus Weston Ranch, and East Union showed up big, Horst, 53-0.
Yeah, Weston Ranch was dealing with a lot of injury issues. They were having to start a freshman at quarterback. The boys still came out, played hard, didn't quit, showed up for the game. One name to mention from Weston Ranch was Namir Brown-Sanger. Had another standout defensive game and interception. Seems like we're saying his name every week, even though they're having a tough season as a team. He is a standout defensive player.
Agreed. He's been making big-time plays. I think one week he even had 17 tackles in a game, which is very impressive. But on the other side, the offense for East Union was clicking because Luke Weaver went 15 of 18 for 253 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's efficiency right there.
Only howdy.
3 incompletions. I mean, that's impressive. One of them was probably the INT that Sanger got, so that's impressive. 2 receiving touchdowns for Dylan Lee and 2 receiving touchdowns for Kanoya Ontai, which is very impressive. They had it all clicking. East Union's been impressive this year.
Yeah, and then if that wasn't enough on the ground game, their running back, Jonte Maggard, had 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. They really just had it rolling. Tough situation for Weston Ranch, but I give them a lot of props for showing up, fighting. In this shortened season, a lot of teams have been looking for excuses not to play games, and Weston Ranch just keeps showing up and trying. And there's a lot to be said about that.
Horst, it was a big matchup for Gregory as they played Turlock, and Turlock was just a little bit too much, 35-13 over Gregory.
Yeah, Turlock's a really good program. They're strong every year. Gregory's still trying to get it going, and they've actually, been improving a lot. They did have some very positive performances. Led by quarterback Cruz Marinez, who went 11 of 16 for 244 yards and a touchdown passing, and he added another 57 yards rushing and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's a dual threat guy. I mean, he really is. He's really impressive, and he's been making plays all year. He's one of those guys to really watch in the future. Running back Isaac Herman added with 11 carries for 57 yards, which is nice, helping getting it done on the ground. And Timmy Ruiz had 4 catches for 136 yards. And Horst, he wasn't done there because he had an INT on defense too.
Yeah, that's quite the game right there. That's impressive. And then another receiver, Trevion McClendon, had 4 catches for 61 yards and the touchdown. Another guy that's named we keep saying week after week, Ryan Weidergren, had 13 tackles. Ryan Weidergren is one of the better defensive players in the area that no one is really talking about. He's just seems to have big game after big game. Even in this loss, he had another one.
Yeah, he's an impressive player. It's good to see, these guys continue to, play really well. I look forward to seeing what they do in future years. Stagg versus Bear Creek, Horst, and Stagg got it done 42-12 over the Bear Creek Bruins.
Stagg, it's a big-time performance from them. Bear Creek, they did come out. They played hard. Both Scott Adams and Brian Adams had rushing touchdowns for Bear Creek. And then for Stagg, their biggest standout had to be Willie Turner, who had a punt return touchdown and a 70-yard reception for a touchdown.
Yep, Willie Turner constantly getting it done. We've talked about him in the past, and we're going to continue talking about him, like I said on the last one. Talk about him until everyone takes notice. Antoine Anger had a receiving touchdown for Stagg. Camario Thomas Gray had a receiving touchdown for Stagg.
Yeah, and then, of course, Gabriel Benton added to the scoring of the touchdown. That guy's been making plays all year. Quarterback Angel Gonzalez threw 3 touchdowns. And Corbett Freeman added an interception return for a touchdown. And then Greg Pichardo and another name we almost always seem to say, Richard Lockhart, added interceptions.
Yeah, the defense showed out, making a lot of plays in the secondary, interceptions all over the place. That's what you have to do. And Stagg's really been playing well. We knew they were going to bounce back, after the Edison loss, and they have. The last 2 weeks, they've bounced back and played really well.
And Stagg has a guy at linebacker that's been having a heck of a year that hasn't gotten mentioned.
Yep, everyone needs to keep an eye on Michael Escobar. He's been tearing it up. He's been playing hard. He's doing what he needs to do, Horst, out there, and I think people need to take notice of him.
Yeah, it's a little harder to get noticed when you're a defensive player, especially a front 7 player in high school, but he's a big-time player.
Horst, the Thomas Downey Knights welcomed the Pittman Pride, and then they beat them 26-14.
Yeah, there's always a big game out there in the Central Valley. Downey, Pittman, usually both playoff contenders, and Downey came away with a win this year. They were led by 2 guys in the passing game, in Hudson Wyatt, who threw for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Connor Stoddard, who threw for 70 yards and a touchdown. So they really got the passing game rolling early. The main target was Camden Rush, who had 3 catches for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's 2 quarterbacks getting it done. I know they always say if you have 2, you don't have any. Obviously, that is wrong because they have 2 that are very successful. Running back Michael Navarez had 20 carries for 124 yards, and he had 1 receiving touchdown. So he was adding that way. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Tyler Sanchez, 7 tackles, 3 for loss, and 2 of those were sacks, Horst.
Yeah, that's a big-time performance in a big game from Tyler Sanchez. Then Brendan Garcia ran a fumble back for a touchdown, and Cameron Marchino had an interception for Downey. They came out and played a heck of a game to beat Pittman.
Yeah, Downey's an impressive team, and they're definitely proving it over the end of the season. They had the big win last week against Gregory, now the big win this week against Pittman. Horst, there was a showdown in Sutter Creek, and the Amador Thundering Herd beat their rivals, the Argonaut Mustangs, 42-0.
A little bit of a surprising score from that rivalry game. Usually that game is really close, but Amador just came out and played really well.
Yep, it's a good way for Amador to finish the season, make sure they take care of business, and beat their crosstown rivals. This is a big game. Anyone that's ever been in this area, this is a huge game for both these teams, and Amador gets to live on the fact that they won it, and they're never going to let Argonaut forget it, ever, in life.
And that's why we played this small spring season, folks. So we could never let the other team forget it.
100%. The Chavez Titans defeated the Franklin Yellow Jackets 28-7.
Nice win for Chavez. They've been really working hard. We're getting that program better. As far as Franklin goes, same thing I said about Weston Ranch. Franklin is low on numbers. They're young. And that program is really trying to recover. And once again, they show up every week and play their hardest.
Right.
And there's a lot that can be said for that. So props to Franklin for showing up every week and playing.
Yeah, and at time of recording, we didn't have any stats, so we weren't able to give anyone stats on what happened in this game. But we still wanted to bring up both teams because they deserve recognition. So if you have stats on these games, make sure you get them to us so that way we can talk about these kids on the show. And we really want to do that. But Chavez got it done. Congratulations to Chavez. They continue to play really well.
Yeah, we know Chavez has several good players. Reuben Hooks,
Yep.
Brandon Wood. Franklin, we would really like to hear from you guys. We know you got some good players. Let us know.
Horst, this was an absolutely huge game. If you've ever been up in that area when these games go down, this is a huge one. Every year it seems like these guys are battling for the league championship. But Sonora was able to edge out Calaveras 27-21.
Sonora did that by getting out to a 17-7 lead at halftime. They had touchdowns in the first half from both Gabe Milborn and Andrew Batlock. Kicker Tim Blackmore kicked 2 field goals. Tim Blackmore kicked a field goal and had an interception. And then the last touchdown they scored was offensive lineman Aaron Greenway recovering their own fumble and scoring. Calaveras in the first half had a touchdown from Phoenix Nguyen on an 85-yard kick return, but it got interesting after that.
Yeah, Calaveras Jake Black caught a 50-yard TD to make it 27-14 with 9 minutes left. And then Calaveras linebacker KJ Jesus Gonzalez had a fumble recovery with 2 minutes left. Calaveras is making their push, horse. This is exciting. I know I'm getting excited just going over this. Calaveras running back Brandon Orlandi caught a 40-yard touchdown from quarterback Travis Bird with 1:06 left, but unsuccessful onside kick iced it for Sonora, and Sonora was able to get the victory. That is what you want from these games, folks. Go to the snack bar in Sonora, get the giant Supreme Nachos. It's wonderful, and enjoy this game.
It's worth the gas money.
It really is, Horst. It's so delicious. I don't know if you've ever eaten that.
I have not, but I can imagine.
Hit up the Sonora snack bar. It's great.
I will.
Great players, great food, great atmosphere, great scenery.
Great food.
Just great. Big Valley welcomed Delta Charter in for a big-time game. It's a league matchup. Delta Charter, 3 years in existence, and every year they've gotten a little bit better, but not quite good enough to beat perennial power in that league. Big Valley Christian, 30-7.
Still just a big difference right there between those two programs. Big Valley's a successful, established program at that level, and Delta Charter's trying to find their footing. I know they must be doing better because their first year, maybe second year, some of their scores were pretty ugly, especially when they would play teams like Big Valley. So to hold them to 30 points means that that team is improving every year.
Yeah, and we looked in on this game a little bit, Horst. Me and you kind of checked it out, and Delta Charter was hanging in there. They were playing hard and they were battling. And it was overall, it was a good game, but Big Valley was just a little bit too much. But that's what you expect from Big Valley, especially if you're familiar with that league. Them and Stone Ridge Christian are usually the teams that get it done. Millennium, pretty good. So yeah, these are the teams that I think a lot of people don't mention, but they're good football teams in the area.
Yeah, and shout out to our guy Josiah Lott on Delta Charter.
Yep.
Big lineman, good player.
Absolutely great games, Horse. Another fun week to talk about. I can't believe we're almost getting to the end of the football season. It came and it went so fast, but these are great games and a lot of great players in the area.
Another exciting week down. Unfortunately, only 1 week left to go this year. A lot of huge matchups, though. Some de facto league title games. A lot of rivalry games. Week 5 might be the best week yet.
Yep.
You definitely need to tune in to our preview show and our review show next week to see what's going on and what happened. And as always, if you haven't yet, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know who we're missing. Let us know who we should talk about more.
And thanks to everyone that comes on for these interviews who really love having interviews with the players, getting to know them, coaches. Continue to reach out to us. Continue to send us film. We'll continue to spread the word on these great players and coaches in the area. And boom, Horse, another Cutback High School football episode is complete.
Pow!